The world is noise. The world is chaos. But within you, there is a quiet center, a fortress against the storm. Welcome to the inner citadel. Paralysis. The quiet, cold numbness that comes when the will meets a wall. It can be creative block, when the ideas simply will not come. It can be professional failure, when the project you poured everything into falls apart. It can be a personal crisis, a diagnosis, a loss that brings your entire life to a halt. This is the wall, the impediment, the dead end. Our first instinctive reaction is despair. To see this as the end of the story, we turn back, we give up, or we hammer against the unmoving stone in useless, panicked rage. We see the obstacle as an injustice, an interruption to the life we were supposed to live, a cosmic error. But what if it is not an interruption? What if the wall itself is the door? What if the very thing that stands in the way is the way? This is not a question for a life of comfort. It is a question for a life of meaning. And it was a question that was faced every single day by the man who gave us the answer. He was not a theorist, safe in a quiet university. He was the Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius. He was a man whose life was a paradox, possessing absolute power over the world. He fought his most brutal war against the one thing he struggled to control, his own mind. His life was one giant, unmoving impediment. And yet, in his private journal, a book he wrote for no one but himself, the Meditations, he forged a different perspective. He was not writing philosophy. He was forging a weapon, a tool for survival, a mental operating system to transform the overwhelming, crushing weight of his reality into a path, into a purpose. He found the secret to turning poison into medicine. He wrote to himself as a command, as a reminder, as a lifeline. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let us unpack this. It is a two-part formula for alchemy. The first part is the mechanism. The second is the meaning. Part 1. The impediment to action advances action. This is the practical, logical truth of the universe. Imagine a river flowing smoothly to the sea. This is your plan, your life as you intended it. Then, a great boulder, an impediment, falls into its path. The river does not stop. It does not rage against the boulder in futile anger. It does not despair. The river acts. The impediment advances its action. The water pressure builds. The river is forced to find a new way. It must go around the boulder, carving a new channel. Or, over thousands of years, its relentless, focused pressure will wear the boulder down into sand. The boulder, the thing that stood in the way, forced the river to become stronger, deeper, more creative. The obstacle did not stop the river. It advanced it. This principle was first articulated by another great Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, who taught that the universe is in a state of eternal flux, of constant change. He said that war is the father of all things. He didn't mean human war, but the cosmic principle of conflict, tension, resistance. For Heraclitus, this flux, this conflict, is the logos, the universal reason. The obstacle is not a bug in the system. It is the system. It is not an interruption of the flow. It is the flow itself. Resistance is the fundamental law of growth. A muscle does not grow from lifting a feather. A muscle grows only when it is met with resistance, when its fibers are torn and forced to rebuild, stronger than before. The impediment of the weight is the way to strength. Look at the Greek myth of the Hydra. It is the perfect metaphor for a problem that escalates. It's an obstacle that seems impossible to defeat. Every time Heracles cut off one head, two more grew in its place. His old method of action, a sword strike, wasn't just failing, it was making the impediment stronger. The impediment, the Hydra, forced him to advance his action. It forced him to innovate. He had to change his approach, using a torch to cauterize the necks. The obstacle taught him, forced him to become smarter. Without the near-impossible impediment of the Hydra, Heracles would have remained just a strong man. Because of it, he became a problem-solving hero. This is the logical mechanism. The obstacle forces us to become stronger, smarter, more creative. But the second half of Marcus's quote is where the magic happens. It is the part that moves us from mere resilience to true, profound peace. Part 2. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is the philosophical leap. This is not just about getting around the wall. This is about realizing the wall is the path. The impediment is not an unfortunate, random annoyance in your life. It is your life. It is the custom-designed curriculum for your own soul's growth. This is a profound shift in perspective. The universe is not conspiring against you. It is conspiring for you. It is not punishing you. It is training you. For Aristotle, another giant of Greek thought, the ultimate goal of life was eudaimonia, human flourishing, a life well lived. And how do we achieve it? Through the practice of virtue. But what is virtue? It's not just a nice thought. It is a habit forged by action. Where can you practice courage if there is no fear or danger? Where can you practice patience if there is nothing that provokes you? Where can you practice generosity if you have nothing to give? The difficult person in your life is no longer just an annoyance. They are a divine opportunity. They are your personal trainer for the virtue of patience. They are the impediment that advances your action of compassion. They are the way. The sudden, unexpected illness is not a tragedy. It is a wall. It is an impediment to your old life of taking things for granted. It forces a new action. It advances the action of appreciating the present moment, of finding strength you never knew you had, of understanding what truly matters. The sickness, the thing that stands in the way of your old life, becomes the way to a new, deeper, more conscious one. This principle now has a modern name, given to it by the essayist Nassim Taleb: anti-fragility. A fragile thing, a wine glass, breaks from shock. A resilient thing, a rubber ball, returns to its original shape. But an anti-fragile thing gets stronger from shock. The wind that extinguishes a candle, fragile, is the same wind that feeds a fire, anti-fragile. The impediment, the chaos, the uncertainty, this is the wind. Your goal is not to be a candle, but a fire. Your mind must become anti-fragile. It needs to feed on chaos. This is how what stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle becomes the fuel. Let's apply this. Defeat, a failed business, a lost job. This is the wall. The fragile mind shatters. It sees this as the end. The resilient mind says, I will recover and find another job just like the old one. It bounces back. The anti-fragile mind, the Stoic mind, says, this impediment is fuel. This failure is not just a lesson. It is raw material. It is valuable data. It is a necessary dose of humility. It is the hunger that will make the next venture smarter, stronger, and more robust. The obstacle became the way to a greatness that was impossible on the easy road. The public failure, the rejection, the humiliation. This is not the end. It is the impediment to your pride. It is the obstacle to your ego. And in that, it is the way to humility, to empathy, to a more robust and authentic sense of self. It burns away the fragile facade of your reputation and reveals the indestructible citadel of your character. This is the great Stoic alchemy. There is no such thing as a bad event. There is only the raw material of fate and the choice of our response. The event is the impediment. Our virtuous response is the action that is advanced. The impediment and the action together become the way. What stands in the way becomes the way. The chaos of our modern world, the noise of the algorithm, the pressure to perform, this is the raw material. The burnout you feel from your career, this is the raw material. The anxiety you feel about the future, this is the raw material. The broken relationship, the loneliness, the fear, this is the raw material. Your job is not to find a life without impediments. Your job is to start using them. Your job is to consume your obstacles, to see them not as a curse, but as your necessary nourishment, to see the wall not as a prison, but as your forge. This is how you build your strength. This is how you build your soul. You do not find a smooth path to greatness. You find a rough path, and you make it the way. This is the great secret of the Stoics. The universe does not give you the person you want to be. It gives you the obstacles you need to become the person you want to be. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Stop praying for an easy life. Stop cursing the wall. Look at the rough, unmoving stone in front of you and begin to climb. The walls of this citadel are new. Our journey here is just beginning. If these words helped you see the path, join us and continue the work.